And in classic Chinese style, like I said earlier, it's a case of running with the hares and hunting with the hounds after Prime Minister's stern warning. China again tries to engage in subterfuge, saying that India must not underestimate us. China is determined to safeguard their territory. Remember, what is most significant is that China at this point is claiming the Galwan Valley as their territory. So when they say, don't try and encroach on our territory, it is actually the Indian part of Ladakh, Indian territory, that they are referring to. Athar Khan and Srinjoy Chaudhary are both joining me live on this story. First to you, Athar, take us through the details, all the details of what China's foreign ministry is now saying.
Well, again, I told Navika just a while earlier that this is amazing that China is now trying to turn around and put all the blame on India. We've known for a fact for a very long time the Chinese are past masters of not just subterfuge but double talk and fork-tongued nonsense, inane, banal nonsense. What the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has told our Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar in the telephonic conversation they had just a few hours ago, I believe, it concluded just last, I think, an hour ago, is that the Chinese still believe and maintain that it was the Indian frontline troops that actually started the entire conflagration, if you want to call it that. That frontline troops of India tried to somehow breach the protocols agreed upon previously by both the diplomatic leadership as well as the military leadership on the ground.
And
now,
it's ridiculous that they're asking for restraint. After breaking an understanding, Srinjoy, they turn around and tell India, you should be restrained. Let me quickly read out the details of what the Chinese, because this is a parallel universe that they exist in and they think everyone else is also going to be fooled into believing them, how they recount the events of June 15, saying the Indian frontline border forces openly broke the consensus reached at the military level meeting between the two sides. Once the situation in the Galwan Valley has slowed down, they crossed the actual line of control again and deliberately provoked, even violent, attacking officers and soldiers who negotiated with the Chinese side led to fierce physical clashes resulting in casualties. This risky act of Indian Army seriously violated the agreement reached between the two countries on the border issue and seriously violated the basic norms of international relations. The only thing is that in this entire statement, you only have to replace India with China and you would pretty much be spot on with what actually happened. They are the ones who violated the agreement, they are the ones who did not show restraint, and they are the ones who crossed over. And Srinjoy, shockingly, this happens after the foreign minister of China has spoken to our external affairs minister.
Well, the important part is, are you right? Absolutely right, because that is exactly what Mr. S. Jaishankar told Wang Yi. He said that you agreed to this, to the troops moving back. You agreed to it. And then why did you break it? This is exactly the point that S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, made. You're right. He said that you agreed to it. You agreed to this decision that was taken initially on the 6th of June. You agreed that, yes, Indian troops would move back at the places where they were eyeball to eyeball, and the Chinese would move back where the places where they were eyeball to eyeball. And then you have gone back on your words. You agreed to this, and then you have gone back. That is the exact point that India has made to China 1 hour ago.
Srinjoy, I want to quickly go back again to Athar just to show that their intent is very clear, Athar. The way they had amassed, many say, not just vehicles, not just permanent structures, but also some artillery on their side of the LAC betrays their intentions right from the beginning. And you've got that on satellite images. Over to you, Athar.
Well, absolutely. What we do have right now, and that story we broke a couple of days ago, that military hardware is backing those Chinese frontline troops at the Galwan Valley. We know they have Humvees parked there. We know they have field hospitals. We know they have all kinds of equipment there, just behind those rear lines at the Chinese side of the LAC and in near the Galwan Valley. This is what I'm talking about right now, Padmaja. I'll just quickly walk our viewers through what we've accessed. Now, this is image number 1. I want to show you this first, slightly enlarging here, and I'll ask my colleague to just come in slightly closer to me so I can completely point out what we're looking at here. Starting here, this is a motorable pass, the motorable road that China has constructed, not just in the past few months, but many believe over the past several months. It starts off on the LAC, the Chinese side of the LAC, I beg your pardon, and we see this image from the 16th of June, which is yesterday. Remember, this is a day after, the very next day, when the clash happened in the intervening night of the 15th and the 16th at the Galwan Valley. Starting from here, these white little spots here, what are these spots? Because this is a commercial satellite, the picture is not that clear, but analysts who've looked at it clearly believe these are vehicles, medium vehicles, large vehicles that resemble what many think are medevac vehicles. They could be troop carriers, trucks, as well as buses, but mostly analysts believe there could be medevac carriers. And why is this particular image important, Padmaja? It's important because this entire stretch is littered, starting right here, littered with these vehicles. This concentration right here, if you could just close in on this here, this concentration of these white spots suggests that they immediately had to rush a lot of vehicle carriers there. Why? This is not a normal formation on that particular road. Yes, Chinese movement has happened there before, but not with this concentration.
So essentially you're saying that these satellite images show us, Athar, that a large number of what could possibly be ambulances are amassed on China's side of the LAC, could be indicative of the fact that they have suffered casualties, and which is why these were evacuation vehicles, correct?
Absolutely right. I want to show you one more image, and this is a slightly clearer image of the same area. This is the one I'm talking about. I'll slightly enlarge this so our viewers can see, and I'll ask my colleague to just come in closer for 1 second here. This is a slightly clearer picture of what we're looking at right now. These are rows and rows of vehicles scattered about here, but completely stacked exactly here. We go along the road. If we look at this particular concentration, a lot of vehicles.
And you know what is very important? You know, there's more news just coming in, but I want to underline for our viewers what Athar has just said is critical, because this picture, the satellite image, has been taken yesterday, hours after that clash took place. So the casualties which are not being owned up by the Chinese were these vehicles brought in to evacuate them. More news just coming in. The Chief of Army Staff has also now spoken, saying all ranks and the Chief of Army Staff salute the supreme sacrifice of our valiant soldiers at Galwan. We offer deepest condolences to the families and stand strong in our resolve towards protecting the sovereignty and integrity of our country. The sacrifices will not go in vain. A strong message that was communicated by our Prime Minister Shinjoy and has been echoed by the army chief. For anyone who's sitting there and saying, oh, you know, China is a bully, no one can actually match up to China, India is not going to be pushed around.
See, the problem with people is they have always said, oh yeah, you know, why should we do this with China? They are so strong and we have such economic ties. But at the end of the day, when you lose 20 of your soldiers, one officer and 19 other ranks, 3 JCOs, it's something that changes the course of a nation.
Yeah.
The important thing is there are 2 things that the question came up. One, how does India deal with China overall? That question has been answered. India is making it clear that we are not pushovers. We are not going to take it lying down, which is why you have troop buildups in India, just to be on the safe side, all the way from Arunachal to Ladakh, because we don't want another Galwan attack.